Good morning, T-Rex and T-Rex. It's 8:15 on Tuesday, August 26th. No, yesterday was not August 26th. And you know what we say about Tuesdays, T-Rex, right? They're good if you can get them. Blue sky and high pressure has been the pattern just about every Tuesday, all year long, from ski season to now surf season to just about fall foliage season. Just about. We have the front from yesterday offshore. There's a cloud to the south there, southwest, and we're facing that's south-southeast, storm offshore. And there's the blue sky right over us. Now, the high pressure system did not come right into New England. It went right into the middle of the nation. Here it is. It's a 1027 high right over Kansas. Welcome relief to the heat and the storms over the central plains. And then here in the northeast, you see those orange dashed lines? Those are little perturbations in the upper level flow and surface flow, and those are instability. Low pressure with cold air up in the sky here in the northeastern United States means instability showers are possible today in the higher elevations, but for most of us it's just nice, dry, cool to cold air advection. Cool here on Cape Cod. Here's the regional roundup. I mean, pretty nice. Temperatures are in the 50s and 60s, and you see Logan Airport already gusting to 24 miles an hour, so it's more windy up in the sky, and as the sun gets higher in the sky, those winds tend to mix down. So wind from the west and northwest, that's the fair weather direction, so it is a very pretty Tuesday, but again, those instability showers possible. The temperature on top of Mount Washington this morning down to 39 degrees with a wind gusting to 55 miles an hour. So there's your wind up in the sky, cold air up in the sky. So the warmer air rises, cools, and condenses with just a little bit of low pressure. A shower or two is possible. How did you do in the rainfall lottery yesterday? Well, this wasn't really part of my forecast. I was kind of in a hurry yesterday morning, and I neglected to mention the threat for a possible afternoon thunderstorm, but it definitely exceeded expectations there with trees and wires down. Carlisle, Redding, Haverhill, I think, was in the mix. No, Haverhill had the rain, but without the severe weather. But there were a few gusty downpours yesterday, and here's there are the spots. Just three locations reporting it. Redding, I forget the other one. And here's the rainfall. So the rainfall lottery winners from yesterday: meager prizes of 0.24 inches in Carlisle and Haverhill and Beverly, Massachusetts. Also, there were also some showers and thunderstorms in northern Maine yesterday, and there was more than a half-inch in parts of Aroostook County, the county where James Simcoe says he got more than an inch, but it really didn't go into the ground very much. It's so dry and so dusty. We need a widespread rain. We had one last week in southern New England. Now we need one for northern New England, and there are none in the cards. Our comments on the YouTube page from Eric trying to plant a tree. Well, he planted a fruit tree or two for his family, and says it was dust wafting up all the way from 2 feet down in the ground. And also M. Bruce near Portland, Maine says, yep, had to keep the tin skiff near shore over the weekend because of the waves and the wind, but now the big problem is the dust. We need some rain, and we don't really have any rain in the forecast. This morning I was focused on things happening very far away from New England, like where Erin has gone to its terminal resting place. Post-tropical cyclone Erin has stalled and is now slowly weakening south of Iceland this morning at a 962 millibar central pressure, a massive occluded front going all the way from its west side to its north side to its east side, and that storm has generated a huge ocean swell. They say normally at Nazaré in Portugal, it's wintertime for the big wave riders to show up, but they're there today. It's a very difficult view, but you can make out a tow-in wake of a wave runner towing a surfer into what's now called a 3-meter swell. That's close to 20-foot swell with an 18-second period. So those are big waves, unusual for Portugal in the summertime. And that webcam there is very tedious to look at because there's so many advertisements and it's such a long distance. So I'm waiting for some closer ups of some big wave riders that have reported to the other side of the Atlantic Ocean. Meanwhile, on the other side of the United States, in the desert Southwest, they call it monsoon season, and severe thunderstorms have generated some flash flooding and some downed trees, but more so, they form north of Tucson and head toward Phoenix. And ahead of those gusty winds, it's called an haboob, a massive wall of dust. Erin Rigsby, chaser from Colorado, says he's been waiting 20 years to capture an image like this. The Haboob dust wall coming toward Phoenix from near Tucson. And then at Phoenix, at the airport, this is what it looked like yesterday as that dust was coming right in. Frightening weather all around. Beautiful weather here on Cape Cod. And yesterday I was on the phone with Matt Noyes, 1 degree outside, and we're talking. He says he's got this new rip current product, and he informed me that one person did perish due to rip currents at Hampton Beach on Sunday evening. Got caught out. Father tried to rescue him. Father had to be rescued. Son perished. I believe his name is Eunice Crouch. I think that's what I gleaned from the CBS News reports. So it's always sad when you have to report a loss of life from weather. Such a spectacle, always beautiful and always scary. Always beautiful somewhere, always scary somewhere else. Fortunately for us in New England, this week is not too scary. Of course, we have our forecast challenges, as always, and the forecast challenge is going to be, after this high pressure system goes by to the south of New England late in the week, are we getting a full latitude trough and rain for our Labor Day weekend? Who was it asked? What's a better beach day for Cape Cod this weekend? It's kind of early to answer that, Saturday or Sunday. But the early answer would be Sunday because of the shape of the jet stream and the surface pattern coming into the weekend. A general forecast for New England, representative for New England, Manchester, New Hampshire meteogram says today we get into the low 80s, very dry air, a lot of instability cumulus clouds, chance of a shower or a thunderstorm mostly north and west of Manchester and Brattleboro in the higher elevations. And so you may get a couple of raindrops. Carl and Stowe, Vermont. Oh, don't let me forget to show Carl Jr.'s pictures yesterday. So then the temperature kind of goes up each day into the 80s and down each night into the 40s and 50s. I'd say Wednesday morning has the potential to be the coolest morning with some lower elevations getting into the 30s. So what I call low barometer cold, cold up in the sky. High barometer cold gets into the lower elevations, and then we all start to warm it up. Dew point only in the 30s on Thursday. That's when the front's supposed to be coming at us. So with dew point in the 30s, you're not going to get much rain from that, but it is going to try and trigger some instability weather here on Thursday night and Friday into early Saturday. And now the Euro keeps going back and forth on our weekend is back trending favorable. This is the Euro guidance that we use for that Manchester. It's called Model Output Statistics, MOS. Yesterday spoke at the Beach Club and they asked me about AI. I said, well, weather has been using AI for some time called Model Output Statistics. Osprey, we've been wanting to get an osprey to catch a fish live on Out the Door Weather and More, but I can't see if he goes down into the water because we've got a bit of obstructed view seating here. Speaking of seating, there's a rocking chair right there. T-Rex, why don't we just sit down in the rocking chair? So yeah, Carl Weller Jr. was coming across on the Hingham Ferry back from Boston to home in the South Shore and captured a photo first of Great Hill. Thank you for sharing that one, which was kind of nondescript as weather-wise, but it's fun to see the neighborhood because I haven't seen it now a few days. I got to go home and fix my flag. And then he pointed the camera in the other direction towards the north, and there was the decaying thunderstorm. Thank you. You can see the rain coming out of the cloud there north of Boston. Beverly, Massachusetts did pick up a 1/4 inch of rain, so a couple of us got the dust down. Thank you, Carl, for sharing. Always welcoming other content from our providers and viewers. Carl's been watching for years and years. Appreciate that. And so now let's, what else do we want to show? Let's see, the radars and the satellites, not much going on right now. So why don't we just get right to the Euro? I've already talked a lot, too much maybe. Tuesdays are good if you can get them. I'm sure we've got other things to do, work and play on this mostly beautiful day. Here's the Euro showing the front offshore, and Tropical Storm Fernand is off the map. It's decaying east of Bermuda, so that's a non-event, just a storm, another named storm out in the middle of the ocean, not really doing anything. And we watch the weather coming out of the desert southwest, and there is going to be a boundary setting up from Colorado to Georgia with many systems coming along in that direction. High pressure is moving to the east and finally gets pretty close to us on Wednesday, but it never comes right over us. So it's going to remain breezy pretty much all week long with the high going off to our south. It starts to warm up on Thursday, and this is where we're talking about the real forecast challenge. What happens to this front coming in Thursday? A few days ago, it looked like a backdoor front that would just ease in from the north, gently decay. Now it looks more vigorous coming in from the west, but kind of falling apart still on Thursday night and Friday with some showers and thunderstorms. Then you have a broad 552 aloft cutoff. That means the air is going in a circle over New England with instability showers possible here Friday into Saturday. And it looks like any coastal weather or southern system tries to stay out over the ocean. And this is about a 50-50 proposition. There's still equal chance that that tries to come north and spoil our Saturday anyway. But either way, it looks like we do improve as the upper level low pushes out on Sunday into Monday of our Labor Day weekend. It looks like seasonable temperatures will be warming back up after a cool down Saturday, Sunday, Monday, maybe back into the 70s, maybe even touching 80. It still could be an onshore flow in spots and a little cool at the beaches, but that's September now for you. And then we go out to, let's see, Tuesday is the 2nd, Wednesday's the 3rd. Oh yes, and day 9 is now Thursday, September 4th at 2 p.m. And what do we have at that time? We have nothing over New England. We're kind of between the red lines, which is 564 decameter north, 570 decameter south, add 20. That puts us at about 84 to 90. I don't think it's going to be 90. That rule doesn't always work. But it looks really nice in New England. Very few isobars. So looks like after a difficult, challenging Labor Day weekend, we may be in pretty good shape. And then that front off to the south looks like it's trying to stay off to the south, but we're going to have several systems going across from Colorado to Georgia to somewhere between Bermuda and Nantucket. So there's the possibility in there somewhere that there could be one that takes the turn and brings us some welcome rain. And if it happens, it would probably happen on Friday into Saturday. But right now we're cautiously optimistic, or pessimistic if you need the rain, that it's going to be mostly mild and dry for our Labor Day weekend. And let's see, what else? Oh yeah, I want to show, finally safe to go back in the water for the regular people like you and me to swim and surf. This is the Cinnamon Rainbows cam at Hampton Beach this morning. And we've got a nice clean, what is it, maybe a 3-foot ground swell. Still kind of long period, estimate about maybe a 10-second period. So that system that formed east of Nantucket yesterday, I think kind of enhanced our surf and beach weather for today with an offshore flow. And low tide now this morning and a high tide later in the afternoon. So Tuesdays are good if you can get them. Back to work Monday. I did work yesterday. Work is play, play is work. When I spoke at the beach club there in Centerville, thank you Janice and Charlie and all the guests. Very fun time whenever we can talk about the weather. It was so dynamic on Cape Cod. The weather was changing by the second yesterday. So we'll go from Dennis to Centerville and then back here to Dennis and a sunset down the beach. Down the beach being my beach right here, Fallon's Pond, with a beautiful sunset and probably some wind issues as the wind really picked up later in the afternoon. So grateful that you're here, that we're here, and all the comments. And T-Rex, I think, is feeling a little bit better today. Are you, T-Rex? And we'll be back with Steve, and the flag will be fixed later today in Weymouth. Sorry about that, but it was a really fun time lapse. My flag just got all tangled up in the wind in the last few days. I need a new one. Flagpole may have to come down and go back up for that. All right. And more from our Back to Work Monday. And more. It's not even 9 a.m. I haven't even really started editing the Monday version, and I thought we were done raining. And look at that, right over the middle of Cape Cod on the west side of that front from Florida, more bands of rain developed, and it looks tiny there on the radar, doesn't it? But it's adding to the little bit of puddle and a little bit of the get the dust down, and certainly gives us something interesting to talk about. The camera's all fogged up because the dew point just came up and temperature went down, and the shower. Yes. So getting the dust down a little bit, and shows you how hard you can't even make a 12-minute forecast sometime. Is the sun out next on the beach in Centerville? Steamy, foggy. What beach? Is the sun out? We're only a mile away. 71 degrees. It was drizzling when we got in the car. There was some blue sky. It's kind of gray, so I guess the verdict is the sun is not quite out yet. And I'm late for a date at 11 o'clock in the morning on a Back to Work Monday. Plenty of parking at Craigville Beach right now. And plenty of parking. Oh, it's not a full house? Oh, it's because Tim Kelly is speaking. Ah, kidding. Speaking where? TBC. There's the blue sky. The weather's going to change every minute for the rest of the day. How did the sun know to come out right now? This is so beautiful. There's Mr. Orloff, our your 50th annual.
Your fan club is waiting.
Thank you.
Andy.
Is that the beach down there?
This is Linda.
And he is a graduate of Cape Cod Tech, Cape Cod Community College. He got his meteorology degree at Lyndon State University in Vermont, and he's great.
Oh.
Anyway, I want to say he's now semi-retired, doing a half-hour weather and nature show on YouTube. I should also know that he's worked with youth through Blue Hill Exhibit.
Hi, I'm meteorologist Tim Kelly. You can call me Hey Weatherman. A lot of people call me Anthony Everett. Some people, I get the Kevin Lemanowitz the other day. First time I ever got a Kevin Lemanowitz. They're like, you are the sports guy? Yeah, sure. All right. How much do you think the ocean has come up since the glacier retreated 15,000 years ago? It's going to be a multiple choice answer. A is 4 inches. B is 40 inches. C is 40 feet. D is 400 feet. How many people say A? How many people say B? How many people say C? How many people say D is correct? The ocean has come up more than 400 feet since the glaciers retreated. I used to walk to Nantucket when I was a boy. Thank God they put in a tunnel. I got the shirt. So we have so much to yet learn. But this pretty much illustrates how I think just about everything behaves. Like this. I don't know how fish know to follow one another and who the leader is. But same thing with humans and atmospheric molecules. But behind every ridge, there's a trough. And then a ridge, and then a trough. And everything goes up and down in waves. And we are just one little rider on this wave.
What is time anyway? It's time for Tim to stop talking and feature all our guests, you too, on Out the Door, Weather and More. Thank you for having me, Janice. So humble, aren't I?
From its ribs all the way up to the most beautiful boat you've ever seen.
Where is he? Where is it? What's the forecast for the next 20 minutes? All right, so this air is coming from the south-southwest. And we've got every kind of layer, but look at that substance right there. Now, there's still a chance that we get an afternoon shower or thunderstorm because the cold front hasn't come through yet. We're dealing with that low offshore. So this is where we're talking about air from Canada meeting air from the North Pole. And it's going to be play-by-play for the rest of the day, but we're having a wonderful lunch right now.
You snuck it out.
Oh, here comes the southwest breeze right on time.
We got a Herreshoff breeze.
We have a sailboat in. We keep it in Potomac, Buzzards Bay.
It's about 1:30. The dynamic day continues. That cloud lowest on the horizon in that direction is a cloud coming off the heating of Martha's Vineyard. And then the heating of the land due to the sun over Cape Cod is creating this cloud, which is coming in from the northwest because upper level flow is coming in from the northwest. But down here on the ground, the air is still coming in from the west-southwest. So really dynamic day. And I'm sure the fun is going to continue. There's a nice chunky cumulus cloud. It's dissipating as it hits the subsidence over the ocean. So over the land, the air heats up and it rises. And over the ocean, it's cooler, so it sinks. And that's your subsidence and then rising air, as we talk about every time. And then way out there beyond that steamship ferry is that ocean low pressure system now pulling away from New England as our air is transitioning from air from the south to air from the north. And what a wonderful lunch. Thank you for hosting the Orloff family, Janice, and everybody at TBC, the Beach Club, for those in the know. Whenever I come here, I have to sneak up the stairs because we're looking back in time. I don't know, I think it's about a century or so. Old school beach club and cabana. I don't know how old, but decades. It survived many a hurricane. And there are the old classes. And I failed to mention, though, that this beach is actually growing. I can't remember. I think we're right down here. And the sand is actually growing. In other words, the dunes are getting bigger and the sand is getting higher, and they're gaining beach here, which is pretty unique with, you know, the rising ocean levels and everything. Yeah, I'm being quiet because I was not invited up here, but I was invited to lunch and to speak, and boy, what a great time it was. On to the next thing. Lavender? The bees love lavender? Who doesn't love lavender? $5.20 on Cape Cod. Subsidence. Hear all the birds? So I just had a 90-minute phone call with Matt Noyes. 1 degree outside. And real time, a storm developed right in Worcester County. And he was actually covering it. Wires down in Redding. Wow. We have the warmth still on Cape Cod and the subsidence. I don't think any of those showers are going to survive to here. But so fun talking to Matt today and hanging around at the TCB. And I think we might go down the beach for the final video, play it out. Look at this perfect blue sky. I want to get closer to the birds. Steve Turnblum in Shrewsbury and of Bass River just had a downpour go through his neighborhood there. How much rain did you get, Steve? The fun thing about these webcams is you can watch them whether you're in Shrewsbury or at your house in Bass River. And we have more. If anyone wants their own webcam and personal weather station, ping us. Birds, birds, birds. Cardinal. Mine, mine, mine. I don't know what they're squawking about, but probably has something to do with food. And time to relish the fruit of Brother Kevin's labor up in the trees for the last several weeks, improving the view from this deck. We now have sunshine late in the day. Kevin's a little shy right now. He's inside, but this is the fruit of his labor. The sun's going to get lower and we get more sun on the deck. So shade on the hot part of the day and sunlight early and late. Finest kind. Can you hear me now? The air has started moving much faster than most of the day. Here in Fallon's Pond, the low light, beautiful color on the grasses that we don't really want expanding onto the beach. The gull, we do not want the gull on the raft either, but we do love the sunshine. And we had faux we just had the front go by. I couldn't believe how much severe weather it caused around 495 around the Maynard area. Didn't see that coming. But it's the nature. When you have weather coming at you from Canada and from Florida, you got to watch in every direction. And today was a very dynamic day, and now we have the, when I say faux pas, front went by, frontal passage with that cloud about an hour ago. And now we have cold air advection at all levels of the atmosphere in all of New England. I did fix the webcam on Bass River. There's the webcam from Bass River showing the fog and the rain from early in the day. Sorry about all this wind noise. Yeah, it wasn't windy most of the day, but now the front is offshore, so this air is coming in from Canada. A little cloud that went by around 5 o'clock as severe weather was happening north of Boston. We just had a cloud that was right on the front. The dew point went down from 68 to 65 in just a short time right here at the end of the day. And in Weymouth, oh no, in Weymouth, we've got some serious flag issues. We are reporting back to Weymouth to repair the flag. I apologize for this, but the sky dynamic, very fun. With the early clouds, I assume. I haven't looked at the Weymouth Cam time lapse yet. And then some blue sky, and then maybe seeing that towering cumulonimbus that went through Steve Turnblum's neighborhood in Shrewsbury all the way up to the New Hampshire seacoast, knocking down some trees along the way. So we're in the cooler air with air from Canada for a couple of days, and it's a huge wild card. How it plays out on the backside of this high. Do we get new air from Canada, or do we get a not so nice Friday, Saturday stalled front and cyclogenesis? Time will tell. Thanks for watching. Tuesdays are good if you can get them, even if it is a little breezy. All right, talk to you tomorrow.